For today's cook, I'm gonna show you how I got challenged to make the most amazing and expensive taco I've ever made in my life. Yes, it's gonna be juicy, extremely flavorful, expensive, but most important, absolutely delicious. This is my attempt of making the most expensive taco there is. This whole thing started because of one guy, one food truck that is absolutely fantastic. It's called Thiago's Tacos, and let me tell you, they make amazing tacos. And like always with a good restaurant, I am a regular at this place. I mean, they make so many different things that are absolutely delicious, and if you are ever in Miami, I definitely recommend you checking it out. And if you do, you will thank me later. But with all that being said, the owner of this truck actually challenged me, and this is what he said.
Guga, thank you very much for coming by and being a regular. We appreciate you at Thiago's Tacos, but I want to see you make the most expensive taco in the world.
I mean, if there's one thing I enjoy is a good challenge for fun, so let's do it, brother. And we start off with the meat. This is a Wagyu skirt steak. To be more specific, it's the outside skirt. But the outside skirt is much more prestigious because it's used for flavor, unlike the inside skirt, which you normally use marinade for it because it's much tougher. The outside is the best of the best. Another thing to keep in mind, Wagyu skirt steak does not get any marbling score. So if you ever hear Wagyu marbling score of a skirt steak, you know they're just talking nonsense. But with all that being said, this is the meat we're going to be using today. To really taste the wonderful flavor of beef, I only season it with salt, freshly ground black pepper, and garlic powder, nothing else. As I mentioned previously, with a beautiful steak like this, you don't need much. Keep it simple. Now, one of the great things about making tacos is always the sauce. And I'm going to show you two different ones so that you can choose which one is best for you. They are easy to make and packed full of flavor. And the first one is Salsa Verde. These are all the ingredients I'm going to be using for it today. Remember, exact amount and ingredients always in the description down below for you. The first thing I like to do is to put some nice char on some vegetables and also a nice beautiful color on my onions and garlic. And the easiest way to do that is to use a gas stove. Then using the same pan, I threw in some water to deglaze it. And to make it even more flavorful, I threw in a stock cube. It will make that liquid absolutely fantastic. But now that I have a wonderful char on my vegetables, it's time to get the sauce done. And the first thing I need to do is to remove the seeds. I do the same thing with the jalapenos as well. And if you like it extra spicy, just leave the seeds on. Now all there's left to do is just throw everything into my blender. And I started off with the tomatillos, followed by my chilies, then the sauteed onion and garlic. The herbs went in, followed by lime juice, salt, freshly ground black pepper, and the liquid gold we just made. Now all there's left to do is to turn in your blender and your Salsa Verde is done. This, my friends, tastes like heaven. It is a wonderful sauce, not only to go with tacos, but with anything. The next thing to make is some wonderful cheese, but just not any cheese. We're gonna make this one special. And for that, I'm gonna be using Japanese Wagyu F.Y.I fat. We all know that fat is flavor, and the taste that comes out of this is unexplainable. So I started off by chopping it all up. Then I threw it in my pan and cooked it under medium-high heat to extract all the beef tallow. And at the same time I was doing this, I was making chicharrones as well to go inside of my tacos. But once I was done, I was left with beef tallow on the bottom and little Japanese Wagyu F.I chicharrones on top. The next step was to fry up my cheese. So I threw in the beef tallow back in the pan and cooked the cheese until they were all golden brown. I mean, this tastes so good that it's impossible to explain. It's basically cheese with taste of amazing steak. For my tortilla, I've already shown you guys how to make one, and if you have not seen that video, make sure you check it out in the description down below. They are the best of the best. Just make sure you use corn tortilla because they have a lot more flavor. My second sauce is completely different than the first one and it's absolutely delicious. Remember, exact amount and ingredients always in the description down below for you. I started off with a little bit of oil in the pan and I threw in my onions. Cooked them until they were translucent and added my garlic. Once they had a nice caramelization, they were ready. Then using the same pan, I threw in some water to deglaze it. That means to remove the good stuff that was left behind by the onions and garlic. Throw in a whole chicken stock cube and let it melt. Make sure you keep it under low heat. To give additional flavor, just like the previous sauce, I like to char my vegetables. That will give your sauce a nice smoky flavor. Do not skip this step. But now all there's left to do is to throw everything into the blender, and I started off with the stock, followed by the garlic and onions. Then I threw in the red bell pepper, a little bit of vinegar, Mexican crema went in, followed by sour cream, lime juice, salt, freshly ground black pepper, and a tiny splash of apple cider vinegar. Now all there's left to do is to blend it well, and my red sauce is done. This one is not spicy, but its full pack of flavor. The next two ingredients is to take everything off the chart. One of them is black truffles. It gives a nice nutty flavor and there's nothing to do with it, just shave it on top. The second ingredient, however, is very controversial. It's called foie gras. Since it's a very controversial ingredient, I'm gonna put a link on the description down below so that you can understand a little bit more about it. That will explain how the process is done nowadays. And if you ever consider using foie gras, I definitely recommend you watching it. But with all that being said, foie gras is almost 99% fat. And the way to use it is to put a quick sear on it. Make sure you keep your pan hot, and once you have a nice beautiful golden brown color, it's done. But now that we have everything ready, all there's left to do is to cook these beautiful steaks. Talking about that, I'll be cooking them in direct heat until I have a nice beautiful sear. By that time, once it's done, I'll be reaching an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. But with all that being said, I say it is enough talking and it is time to make the most expensive taco I've ever made in my life. So let's do it. All right, everybody, we have our tacos over here. What do you think, Angel?
They look a little bit fancy.
These are some
These are tacos in tuxedos.
Yes, exactly right. That's a good point. So we have two different kinds. They are slightly different than each other. All right. Oh, you're taking a peek on it already.
Look, hey.
I want to know which one is better for you. They're very similar but a little bit different, yeah?
Okay.
So let's dig in on the first one and we're going to find out how it tastes. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
First one.
Oh.
Wow,
fancy.
that's sauce. What do you think about the sauce?
Has like a bell pepper taste to it.
Little bell pepper.
Bell pepper?
Yeah.
I do like that.
A little sweetness of that sauce.
Oh, you can taste the truffles. You can taste the little cheese bites, the sauce. Ooh, this thing is good.
You know what's up with that cheese bite?
Yeah.
It was deep fried on beef fat and Wagyu A5 fat.
Oh.
So
this is even fancy cheese over here. What's not fancy on this?
There's nothing that is not fancy
You
in
made
there.
the tortilla? You made that? I know you made.
I think maybe just the onions are not that fancy.
Oh, the onions aren't that fancy, huh?
Try it by itself. Try this by itself. I tried this by itself, everybody. These little cheese bites.
Oh, man.
They taste like beef. This was a little bit of a challenge from Thiago's Tacos. You know where we went over there? It's amazing. So he kind of challenged me to make a fancy version. And that's my fancy version of it.
Well, it's fancy, all right.
Thiago, I hope that I did it just and it's fancy enough.
Thiago, is it fancy enough? Is this enough? I don't know.
The second one is a little bit different. Second one, everybody, cheers. Completely different flavor.
Powerful.
Powerful. Yeah. You feel that chili in there?
I got deep enough to get some foie gras. It tastes good.
You like the foie gras? I told you foie gras is good.
It goes well with it.
Yeah, because it makes it more juicy. When you buy the foie gras,
a lot of different things in there. So if you're not that big of a fan of foie gras, it goes well.
Here's the deal with the skirt steak. It is perfect to eat it with a taco. Japanese Wagyu A5 would be way too rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, yeah.
So if anybody on the comments, I know you guys are gonna go, oh, but if you do it with A5, it's more expensive. Yes, it is, but I don't think that it's a nice steak to go with a taco. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. As you can see, it's completely gone. It was fantastic. I wish we had more, right, Joe?
I was gonna say, I know we did. Yeah.
If you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
So I can't have not even one more taco?
Unfortunately, you know what? Let's go make one more. One for me, one for you. Quickly before the kids come in. See you guys on the next one.
I'll see you later, guys.